Everyone, I'm Dr. Renuka. Welcome you all again on this channel. Today I have bring a new topic for you, and that is marginal costing. Student, this marginal costing topic is also very important for you, where you have to solve some numerical examples based on the marginal costing. But students, before go to the numerical examples for marginal costing, we must know some important concepts related to this topic. What are that important concepts? I have bring here that important concepts, and one of them is marginal cost. What is meant by marginal cost? Students, here you can see that marginal cost represents the incremental cost incurred where producing additional units of a good or service. This marginal cost can be calculated by taking the total change, the cost of producing more goods, and dividing that by the change in the number of goods produced. Students, marginal cost is an additional or incremental cost. Here you can see that marginal cost can be calculated with the addition of direct material, direct labor, direct expenses and variable overhead. Here you can see that here no indirect material, no indirect labor and no other overheads has included while calculating marginal cost. So, the term marginal cost implies the additional cost involved in producing an extra unit of output which can be revoked by total variable cost assigned to one unit. Here students, one can take example for this marginal cost. If we are producing 10 units of output and for that we are paying 100 rupees as a total marginal cost at present, and further we take decision to produce one more unit of that production. So now we are producing 11 units of that same production, and for that we are now paying 110 rupees. Students, you can see the difference between the previous total marginal cost and the present total marginal cost. The previous total marginal cost was rupees 100 for 10 units, and now the present marginal cost is rupees 110 for the 11 unit. It means that the 11th unit has bring 10 rupees extra marginal cost, and that's why that 10 rupees is the additional cost for the additional production. Okay, now our second important concept we will see, and that concept is marginal costing. What exactly mean by marginal costing? Marginal costing is nothing but a costing technique wherein the marginal cost, it is nothing but a variable cost is charged to unit of cost, while the fixed cost for the period is completely written off against the contribution. It means while calculating or while using this technique, marginal costing technique, will take into consideration only variable cost and will not take into consideration the fixed cost at all. So, students, further we go to the next concept, that is variable cost. What is meant by variable cost? The cost which vary on the basis of volume of output are known as variable or marginal or direct cost. Student, we must know the other names for variable cost. For variable cost, we called it as a marginal or direct cost also. Next concept is fixed cost. Fixed cost, the cost which remains fixed irrespective of level of output, are known as fixed or rigid or constant cost. Here you get know the other names for the fixed cost, and that names are rigid cost or constant cost. Students, for this cost, that is variable and fixed cost, you must know the difference in between these two costs, which is very important to identify what is fixed cost and what is variable cost. So now we are go for the difference between variable cost and fixed cost. So for first part of this page, you can see here I have written there fixed cost. So what is meant by fixed cost? As we have seen previously, the total cost remains fixed in fixed cost, means fixed cost remain fixed in total, while if we go to the variable cost, total cost vary. Variable cost vary in total. Okay. Next difference is fixed cost per unit vary, means fixed cost does not remain same per unit, it remains fixed in total but change when it come to unit wise, whereas the variable cost per unit remain constant, it will not change per unit. When we go to the fixed cost is uncontrollable in nature because we cannot change the establishment of plant, we cannot change frequently the rent, rates and taxes we have to pay for the decided period or the time. But while we go to the variable cost, it is controllable in nature, because variable cost is a cost which we have to bear only when we are going to produce. If we are not going to produce anything, there will be zero variable cost. But instead of production or irrespective of the production, we have to pay the rent, rates, we have to pay for the machinery, we have to pay for the decided charges, and that's why fixed cost is uncontrollable in nature and the variable cost is uncontrollable in nature. Next, I have taken here some example for the fixed cost. Rent, rates, taxes, insurance, depreciation are the example of fixed cost which we have to bear irrespective of the production. Here for variable cost, direct material, direct labor, direct expenses are the example of variable cost. Students, to solve marginal costing example, one should know what is the marginal costing statement, and that's why I have written here marginal costing statement. In marginal costing statement, we take first of all sales. Here I have taken sales rupees 10 lakh. We have to deduct variable cost. I have taken here variable cost, that is 4 lakh rupees. After deducting variable cost from sales, we get contribution. Here we have get contribution, that is 6 lakh rupees. But this 6 lakh rupees contribution is not an profit. So to get profit, we have to deduct fixed cost from that contribution, I have taken here 1 lakh rupees as a fixed cost, and after deducting fixed cost from the contribution, we can get profit. Here in this example, we have get profit amount, that is rupees 5 lakh. Students, with this statement I am concluding this video. In next video, we will directly take example based on the marginal costing, where we are going to solve example where we will calculate contribution, PV ratio, BEP sales, and desired profit and desired sales. Up to this, I am concluding this video. Thank you all for seeing this video. Be with us, and if you have not still subscribed this channel, please subscribe this for the next interested and important video.